Do you want to revive yourself and other players in Star Citizen? Know everything about the medical gameplay and get to know all the tools, ships and options? Then you're exactly right. Because in this guide to medical gameplay, we show you everything there is to know. From the treatment of injured players, including yourself, about the different ships, all the medics and which effects they have, as well as the possibility of participating in medical missions. Because the medical gameplay already offers a lot more than just using a med pen. So put on your helmet and prepare for an intergalactic revival mission. The various clinics and hospitals serve as medical basic supply. These are free of charge and offer all the same services. From a pharmacy where you can buy the complete medical assortment, an insurance station where you can save your imprint, so set your respawn point, as well as a patient check-in where you get medical help for your character. And you don't just get this medical basic supply in every residential area, so every main planet, as well as on Grimhex, but at every space station in the verse. But let's go to your medical basic equipment to go, so everything you can take with you, from various medical tools to various med pens and their active ingredients. The most famous so far are the once usable med pens. The most used variant is the red variant with the active ingredient Hemozal. With this, we can stop our bleeding with the one-time dose, restore our hit points or even revive unconscious players. With the blue Oxy pen, we have the opportunity to bring our oxygen supply back to the forefront. But we increase our blood medication level with each pen, which can be dangerous, especially at high values. The purple Adrenapen with the active ingredients Dimaxatrine reduces the effects of brain shakings and head injuries, stabilizes your weapon handling and your movement speed. And as a synthetic adrenaline, it can also be a help in combat in advance. With the gray Detox pen and the active ingredient Resulgara, you double the trigger rate of your blood medication level, so the optimal counterpart for all other active ingredients is that increase your blood medication level. And in addition, you can revive unconscious patients who suffer from an acute overdose. The green Opio pen with the active ingredients Roxafen effectively reduces your pain symptoms and normalizes your overall mobility, so you can reduce symptoms of paralysis and be mobile again. And with the orange Corticopen and the active ingredient Sterogen, you reduce impairments and injuries that impair your sight and hearing. And in addition, it normalizes your endurance values. And in short, we get with the Decon pen with an active ingredients Canodiodid, a countermeasure for injuries and symptoms that can lead to radiation poisoning or radiation disease. And these then play a role especially in Pyro. In the field of medical devices, we start with the Lifeguard medical attachment, so a component for your MultiTool. And basically it is a reusable XXL variant of the red med pen with Hemozal as the active ingredient. This means that your MultiTool is able to stop bleeding and restore your hit points multiple times. But our absolute recommendation and the all-in-one flagship in the medical field is the Paramed Medical Device. Because here you have not only Hemozal as an active ingredient, but also all other active ingredients that you can freely adjust. And in addition, there are refill cartridges, analogous to the MultiTool, to buy and also to carry, so that you will never run out of medication or active ingredients. And you can find your medical tool or MultiTool under the hotkey 4. And with the right mouse button, you even get a medical scanner via the alternative fire mode, which is the same with the MultiTool as with a medical tool. But the Paramed Medical Device offers you a special function. Because here you can set different values in the advanced mode, so you get the basic and automatic setting and the advanced, and thus mix different drug cocktails. And with this, a targeted supply of drugs and active ingredients is made possible, not only for you, but also for other players. But you should always keep an eye on your own blood drug level or from your target. If this exceeds 75%, you have a clear risk of failure, and if it exceeds 100%, you will be unconscious and may even die. But let's move on to the next level of medical supply, dedicated spaceships, of which we currently have 4 in the game. The cheapest variant is the Anvil Pisces C8R Rescue. This has a single Tier 3 medbed. and this allows you to treat minor and simple injuries up to Tier 3. And we also have a few med pens on board. Also equipped with Tier 3 facilities is the Cutlass Red. This one has one more bed, but no goodies like med pens or drinks on board. But the Cutty Red is also able to treat Tier 3 injuries, so to heal them completely. And for the next injury class, Tier 2, the Carrack is available. Because this large space exploration ship has a full-fledged medical equipment and a complete medical station on board. In addition, it has the option of picking up a Pisces directly over the hangar and landing there. And currently, a Tier 2 treatment facility outside of stationary clinics and space stations and planets is the maximum. And in addition, starting with the Tier 2 treatment facility allows you to store your imprint on the ship, so to locate your respawn point directly on the ship. But this only works as long as the ship is available and not destroyed. Also, a Tier 2 treatment facility offers the powerful Origin 890 jump. And this touring luxury liner also has a hangar where you can easily park the Pisces. And of course, for such a luxury ship, it is important to have a corresponding medical supply, also available here in the size Tier 2. And of course, you can also respawn on the 890 jump. But let's get to the actual treatment. As mentioned, we can set our spawn point, so our imprint in a medical facility starting from level 2 to level 1. This can be done on the 890 jump or on the Carrack by starting the medical treatment here and setting our point on the regeneration. And of course, this is also possible on all medical facilities on stations or planets, as well as on Grimhex. And if something happens to us, we wake up at the last selected point. As soon as a character is injured, this is not only visible visually, but also in the alternative fire mode with a med gun or with our MultiTool with attachment, so the medical scanner. In addition to the general hit points display, we are also shown which injuries the respective character has and which medications are necessary for a reduction of these symptoms. Because this way we can also provide corresponding medications to continue the character without restrictions, for example to let it run. Because possible symptoms are diverse, from Tier 3 to Tier 1, for example with a light leg injury, from a throb to a slow creak with Tier 1. And with the right medications, these symptoms are suppressed for the respective time. And such accordingly suppressed disease we see with a green number behind. In this case, a Tier 2 leg injury, which however was suppressed and lasts for a few minutes. And at the end of this time, the character starts to throb again and we need additional medications, or, as in our case, for a complete healing, a minimum of a Tier 2 medbay. Because it is a Tier 2 injury. Here we have a simple bleeding wound, which is shown with a small drop of blood, as well as a Tier 3 injury. To treat ourselves, we can take a MultiTool or a medical device with the key B, automatically administer medications. And with a Tier 3, the impairments are manageable. But with an increased variant of a Tier 2 injury, we throw up significantly, and through an automated treatment we only get hit points back and the bleeding stops. But to be able to run again without problems, we need roxafen and dexmedetomidine. And the more we administer of these, the higher our blood medication level rises, but also the time we can run without problems. But if we administer a little Resurgera, the time drops until our medications are completely removed from our circulation. And so we can run completely again with our Tier 2 injury up to a treatment in a Tier 2 medbay. But for a permanent healing, we need at minimum a Tier 2 or a high-qualified medbay like a Tier 1 facility at a clinic. And with that, we are completely healed. And in addition, our blood medication level is back to 0. But also, at every medbay, that is, from Tier 3 to Tier 1, we can administer the most diverse medications ourselves and with the medical device. But limits are also applied here. Over 75% we have clear symptoms of failure, and with a value over 100% we become unconscious and can even die. But here the medbeds come into play again. because no matter from Tier 3 to Tier 1, they offered the service to completely wash our blood and to remove our blood medication. If we get too much damage, for example a headshot with a large caliber weapon, we don't have the possibility to be revived, but have to respawn, in our case on our previously selected Carrack medbed. If the damage doesn't exceed this limit, however, we have a certain amount of time until we can be revived. If we are healed with a MultiTool, a medgun or a medpen, we can back on our feet and continue fighting. But what are the symptoms? First, we suffered a Tier 2 head injury, and now an additional Tier 3 injury of our right leg. And with each further injury, our healing is limited. That means we are no longer reach 100% of our hit points, but depending on the injury to a certain maximum value. And also in addition, the symptoms can have different effects depending on where they occur. To suppress, we need either the different active ingredients or a medbay, which can suppress or completely heal our symptoms depending on the level. But for this, we also offer you a free download in our Discord with an overview of which active ingredients can heal which symptoms or even suppress them. So feel free to stop by, because in the zeal of a battle, it can be good to have a small note of which medicine you have to take quickly in order to be able to continue jumping, running or shooting. In order to revive another player, you can use your medical tool, the attachment for the MultiTool or a medpen. And to revive with a medpen, you take it in your hand, aim to your opponent and then press the right mouse button, then the medpen is initiated directly. But what can you do if you suffer an accident in the middle of a mission? Here, the medical beacons are offered, so buyouts that you can create yourself and call for help. If a player accepts this mission, he receives a basic payment of 15,000 Alpha USC with completion. And also he can find and save you with a marker that is placed on you. So thank you Mindtricks. Such missions appear in your contract manager and you not only keep the distance but also a beacon where you can have to go and where your goal is. You can always jump to it. But a warning at this point, some players use this system to lure you into a trap and rob you. Therefore, you should always approach a medical mission with a little skepticism. But good friendships can also be made very quickly with these missions. To move unconscious players, you can use your MultiTool with the tractor beam attachment, or you grab the respective player by the collar and pull him. And that's the only way you can put the respective unconscious player in a medbed. And as soon as you have fixed the unconsciousness, you automatically receive the payment. And of course, you can also take over patient care via the various consoles, even if the player can do that himself as soon as he is in a medbed. In addition, there is also the possibility to lure unconscious or injured players directly into a medical facility in a landing zone, on a space station or even in Grimhex. In this case, most hangars are equipped with a corresponding medical elevator. And for this, you just have to put the player in the elevator and press the elevator button. That's it. And of course, you should first free the player from his equipment so that nothing goes wrong during an operation. So, with that, I say goodbye. Until next time, see you soon and as always, see you in the verse. Thanks for watching.